The following contest is a professional bout in the Rocktagon featherweight division, and it is brought to you by Club 101, official after party of tonight's event. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle, please welcome Matthew La Matanza Hunt.
La Matanza means the massacre. Matthew Hunt, another fighter with a wrestling background, wrestled at Highland University again with Chewy Urbina, one of the more colorful guys.
I like that education, and it brings me to Chris Farley. El Nino in Spanish means the Nino. But yes, colorful he is. He's got a great smile on his face, and he's a guy that just came up and acted like we were longtime friends. This is a good guy personally, and also a great fighter.
Fighting out of Moeller's MMA in Arlington, Texas. Very quick, very athletic, and of course he's going to rely on that wrestling background where he, again, wrestled 2.5 years at New Mexico Highlands. That's a Division II school. One other thing, he is in incredible shape.
Yeah, these guys could go onto a bodybuilding stage right now. When I watch both of these guys weigh in, this is nice.
And his opponent, please welcome Brian the Demon Castillo.
Brian Castillo from Bushido MMA. You know, speaking to his coach, Shane Schumann, they know that this is a tough fight. They're very aware of how tough of a fighter Matt Hunt is, but they're confident in the high work rate of Castillo. He tires people out. These two guys, this is going to be one to keep your eye on as we now look at the tail tape. Nick Nutter, what stands out to you?
Standing out, we are very close. The one thing that I did notice yesterday, Castillo came in a little heavy at weigh-ins and did have to cut a little weight. So, but you know what? He did it with a smile, and I don't think that was much of an issue. But tail the tape looks pretty even.
Brian Castillo, the Demon, 2-2 as a pro. Matt Hunt, 4-2. But as an amateur, Brian Castillo, as a lot of these fighters have, extensive amateur career. He was 16-5. And out of those, they were all TKO or submission. There was only one fight that was a 3-round battle. He's a guy who, as an amateur at least, wanted to get in, get his work done fast.
Yeah, and Bushido does a good job of not putting you into the pro level until you're ready for it. And this is just a good testimony. You know, he did his hard work at the amateur level, and now he's finally reaping the rewards as a pro.
Hunt on a 3-fight win streak. Castillo, 2-fight win streak. Now it's time to get the official introductions underway. I set it up to Jake Dickman.
The following contest is a professional bout in the Rocktagon featherweight division, and it is brought to you by Club 101. Introducing first in the blue corner, he fights out of Dallas, Texas. He weighed in at 143 pounds, representing Legionnaire Fight Team and Moeller MMA with a professional record, 4 wins, 2 losses. Please welcome Matthew La Matanza Hunt. And his opponent in the red corner, he fights out of El Paso, Texas. He weighed in at 146 pounds, representing Bushido MMA with a professional record, 2 wins, 3 losses. Please welcome Brian the Demon Castillo. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, and when the action begins, your referee is Mr. Kerry Hatley.
Matt Hunt, white fight shorts. Brian the Demon Castillo in the black. Kerry Hartley, the third man in the cage. This is Rocktagon 28. Journey of Champions in El Paso, Texas, Buchanan Event Center. Ryan Cavanaugh joined by the All-American Nick Nutter.
We're off. The cage is locked. They do touch gloves. We got a southpaw. Is this a southpaw matchup?
Castillo looks to throw the leg kick, and Castillo Hunt kind of laughs it off.
Now what I notice is a lot of wrestlers develop a southpaw stance because their wrestling stance, dominant, is a right foot forward. So if you want to be able to shoot a takedown, you pretty much go to your wrestling stance. So a lot of wrestlers learn how to do southpaw.
And Hunt appears, really at this point just appears to be measuring Castillo.
Yep.
looking, trying to figure out his timing.
Yeah, and, Castillo's doing a good job of circling. He doesn't want to get pinned into a corner, and I think Hunt's trying to track him down. Ooh, nice inside leg kick.
Good inside leg kick.
That was a good crack. And the crowd answered for that.
And as often MMA fighters do, Nick, when you get hit with the technique, you return with the same one, and
Yep.
Hunt looks for the inside leg kick
Yeah.
of his own. Misses.
Tip for tat.
Excellent camera work. For our
Ooh,
crew
nice
here.
inside leg kick. It buckled Hunt, and Hunt could not secure the takedown. He knew it was coming. Ooh, a nice
Big uppercut
too.
from Castillo.
Hunt
and that-
smiles.
which usually means it hurt.
Yes. Oh, they touch hands too. These guys are good guys. We talked to them both yesterday, and
Yeah, outstanding. It's always good to have good sportsmanship in there, no bad blood. Just two guys that really on their way up. These are two excellent prospects.
hard leg
Ooh.
kick.
And
That
Hunt,
hurt. That hurt.
Hunt missed with a hook.
Yeah.
Castillo answering, clipped him off the exchange.
I hope they show that in a replay play because that was a powerful, powerful leg kick.
And Hunt taking the center of the Rocktagon here. Castillo looks to be the more active fighter, bouncing around.
I think he's going to keep. If I was Castillo, I would stick with those leg kicks, inside, outside, and pepper that front leg. Ooh, nice. Oh, that hurt him. That hurt him. That hurt him. And he fouled up with it.
And there it goes.
Yeah.
That's autopilot. You get
That's
hit a couple
autopilot.
times. Boom, beautiful double leg by Matt Hunt.
Yeah, and I think what Hunt wanted to do was see if he could. I say you want to go. If you want to try out your striking, you try it. But if you're getting peppered and you're getting the worst of it, then you better go back to your roots. And wrestling is his roots, being a Division II college wrestler.
So now he has Castillo down. Let's see what he can do for it. So far, Castillo was winning the action on the feet.
Yep. And,
But this is Matt Hunt's world.
Yeah, this is Matt Hunt's world, and you don't know what referee. If you got a wrestling referee, he's going to give more points to the takedowns. If you got a submission, a jiu-jitsu judge, he's going to give more, holding them in guard, and the kickboxer's going to like. So you don't know what your referees are.
And Hunt now posturing up to land some blows. And now Castillo looking to get out.
Yeah, he's got it looks like he knows a little wrestling himself. He's sort of has a little fireman's carry here going, and he's going for a tight. I can't see. There we go. There's a great angle. That is tight. What he's got to do is
Castillo gave the thumbs up.
Yeah, he gave the thumbs up. What he's got to do is elevate his butt and get his head down to get the pressure off of his neck. Okay, now that's a better angle. He doesn't look like he's panicking. When it's tight, you see a grimace.
He's got the arm in, and that's making it difficult for Hunt to keep his hands collapsed, and he's about to get out of it, which is going to put
Hunt
Castillo in the guard of Hunt.
Top position. And Hunt wisely didn't exude all of his energy squeezing that.
Coming into a minute and a half left in this round. Action-packed first round, 145-pound weight class.
Yeah.
And now let's see what Hunt can do with the dominant position.
Hunt's doing a good job of controlling the arms. He's looking for an elevator, and he hasn't taken any punishment here on the bottom.
Right, said Hunt.
Almost got the arms wrapped up.
And at this point, the way he's holding him, keeping him tight, Kerry Hatley's got to be, he's working those legs up.
Yeah, he's trying to get
almost a triangle there.
Yeah, it's a triangle or a sneaky armbar, and it's nice to put your toe in the fence. Judges don't worry about that as much, or referees don't worry about that as much as fingers. But if you could climb the fence with your toes, you could get quick, easy angles that the body normally doesn't allow.
Right from Castillo. Castillo going to the body here.
Smart.
It's the first part of the of action and offense that he's had on Hunt, but at this point, under a minute in this round, if you can just stay busy, referee Hatley will let you stay there, and that would probably seal this round for him.
Yeah, staying busy is the key, and he might want to let him up because he was dominating the strikes, and maybe he could, secure the win with some more leg kicks at the end of the round. It is a toss-up round, and like I said, I don't know what kind of judges are judging the fight.
10 seconds left in the round. Castillo looks to right out. Hunt looking to explode to his feet.
That was huge, getting the reversal.
And look at the takedown.
And another reversal. That might have just stole the round.
Got a punch in at the bell.
I was giving it to Castillo until Hunt just did that. I gave him the round with the explosive reversal and then landing the punch in a top position.
What a first round. So you, based on that.
In the last 3 seconds of the round is when I changed my mind. And, we'll talk to the judges later and see if they saw it the same way.
Very interesting. My partner, Nick Nutter, giving it to Matthew Hunt. Castillo did the damage on the feet and the ground. I believe was a stalemate. If I had to pick one fight there, as we take one fighter, I think it was Castillo got that round. A capacity crowd, as you mentioned in the open, Nick. A line down the street waiting for the doors to be open. This is a early arriving fight crowd.
I think it's standing room only. Yeah, I've walked around and it's tough getting around here.
As we get ready for round 2, Kerry Hatley tells the cornermen, get out of my Rocktagon. It's Matthew Hunt in the white fight trunks. Brian, the Demon Castillo in the black. Kerry Hatley, third man in the cage. All-American Nick Nutter and Ryan Kavanaugh. And see how long this fight stays standing this time, Nick.
Touch gloves again. These guys, if we had a Mr. Congeniality for the fight, these guys were both, a knee that had her hurt. Holy.
Wow, what a knee as he was coming in.
Holy chin. That was beautiful chin, and that was just transition. And Hunt went for the takedown, and Castillo's got strong hips. He almost ran him over with his hips. You know, there's two ways of defending a double leg takedown. One is using your hips and sort of buckling the person, and the other one is the more classic, is the sprawl. And Castillo has some wrestling background in him himself. I know that.
Brian Castillo now has Hunt pinned up against the cage.
He's doing good, and he's getting a lot more shots than he did last time he was on top.
We'll see if
he's going for a rubber guard.
And there's more than 4 minutes left in this round for Castillo to work. We got to see if Hunt can use that explosiveness he showed at the end of round 1.
Yeah, as long as he's not taking damage. If that knee hurt him, he might want to rest here a little bit on his back, get his marbles together, and then come back out strong.
Yeah, none of these punches from Castillo appear to be getting through.
No, so if you did get fuzzy from that knee, take advantage. Okay, we're starting him up anyways.
Kerry Hatley's seen enough on the ground, enough in action.
He doesn't have the smile he did in the first round.
No, and Matt Hunt was slow getting up there.
Yeah. Ooh.
A right hook and a left, rocks Castillo.
And Castillo went into defense mode with the double leg attempt.
And Hunt's pouring it on. Looks to take his back. Knees to the body, and Matt Hunt all of a sudden has all kinds of energy.
It's on, it's on. Castillo is circling, he's doing his best, he's getting his hands up, he's rolling, and he got into guard. That was surviving. He was hurt bad, and Matthew Hunt smelled blood, and he still smells blood.
He's pouring it on again. Matt Hunt looks to take his back.
That was easy, and that's because Castillo, I think, is fuzzy right now. Castillo is doing a great job of trying to buy time and getting his, his mind back here.
Is he out of the woods yet?
The slower pace right here helps him. I think he's going to go for a rolling knee bar, or at least use that to set up to get into a guard position. But I think Matthew Hunt's on top of it. He knows what's going on. Watch for a forward roll. The fence is blocking him too, though.
Look at these punches here. As Matt Hunt looks to get the hooks in.
Yeah, he's holding that hand. And basically what that is he knows nothing's coming from the left-hand side to really hurt him. Uh-oh.
He's looking for a choke, like his teammate Chewy Urbina. Finished.
Castillo's got to keep the chin down, and he's got to roll hard to his right. I think he rolled the wrong way, in my opinion.
Well, he certainly does not have a lot of room to work with as they're pinned up against the corner there. Just under 2 minutes left in this round. Can Matt Hunt, is there enough time to sink in this choke and finish the fight?
The cage is really messing him up right here. Now, if he could sneak that other leg in and get both in, get both boots in, which he's climbing up to.
And he's just cranking on it now. And Castillo
And the crowd here is a Bushido crowd, and they are going crazy.
And it's Castillo's turn.
Oh, my. Uh-oh, the ref is getting close to stepping in, too.
Hunt's holding on. I'm not sure if how many of these punches are actually getting through.
He might have punched himself out going for the finish, too.
Sure, and look at him covering up the mouth of Hunt is Castillo.
Yeah, that just, it's more frustrating than anything. But it does, block a lot of oxygen from getting in there when you're tired. Smart little thing to do. But you always hear people say, "Oh, you almost punched yourself out," or that's a real thing. When you punch yourself out and you go anaerobic, you cannot recover.
Absolutely. Right now, it looks like Castillo. I mean, Nick, you've been in there. You were ranked 19th in the world at one point. How much does a big adrenaline push and an adrenaline dump when you think you have a guy and you can finish him? How much does that take out of the gas tank?
Well, we've seen both gas tanks emptied in this round, and we've seen them both filled. And right now, Matthew Hunt is the one with the empty gas tank. However, rewind 2 minutes ago, Brian Castillo was the one with the empty tank.
What a round. I do not envy the judges in this fight. Both first and second round have been close. Here's the 10 seconds. Castillo trying to score some punches. He's got the right arm of Hunt locked up. And he's landed some shots, and that's the end of the round. And there's some punches after the bell. Both fighters slow getting up.
We have a fight going on right now.
We have a fist fight, Nick Nutter, absolutely. And these guys are laying it all out, leaving it all out there in the Rocktagon. This is 2 rounds in the books. Nick, I'm going to put you on the spot once again.
I was going to do it to you.
Who do you have in this fight?
I'm going to go 1-1 to make this one, who wants it all?
Well, certainly the gas tank is going to be tested for both these guys. We'll see what they have, because that's 10 minutes of really putting it all out there.
In last round, Brian Castillo stood up the whole round. Now he finally took a seat. They're tired.
Yeah.
Okay, here we got a replay right here. And what he's going for is to get positioning by pulling it. He's putting his arm under there to get to an armbar position, but Castillo damaged him with that. He paid for it. These guys like each other, and they know they're putting on a good fight for the fans.
Third and final round. Kerry Hatley brings the fighters in. It's Brian Castillo in the black trunks, Matt Hunt in the white. My partner Nick Nutter has it 1-1. Big punch by Castillo, rocks him.
Whoa.
Again, and Castillo gets
They rocked each other.
This is a crazy fight right now. Take a stop, then there's an equipment timeout, and is this going to benefit?
I think it's going to benefit Hunt right now, because I think Castillo's confidence was growing.
Both of these fighters, Nick, while tired, dare I say near exhaustion, come out throwing heavy hands.
Yeah, heavy hands, and I think Hunt almost played possum. I think he got hurt, but he also, on the fence, threw that big high kick that I know Castillo was not ready for.
And he's fixing his glove. Matt Hunt right now is tired. They bring him back together. They touch gloves. And I look for Hunt to take this to the ground, although both of them have had success standing.
I think you're right. I think Hunt would want to go to the ground right now, burn some time, and secure a takedown on the judges' card.
How much does he have left, and does he have enough to take him down?
I think he's played ropey-dope well. I'm going to say he has enough to take him down.
That is why Nick Nutter is the best in the business. It's really the amateur background of wrestling that you drew on to get that answer, right?
And stalling for 5 seconds.
And look at the punches there to the face, Matt Hunt.
Yeah, he tried a guillotine on the ground. I think what he might want to do is try to a standing guillotine using Castillo's back against the fence.
Yeah, I don't think in the tired state that Hunt's in, it would be wise to go for a submission that if he doesn't get, he loses dominant position, such as jump into the guillotine he did last time.
You're right. I know he doesn't want to go to his back. But what he should do is get behind him and secure the takedown. But Castillo knows that. He's got hand control, and he's not going to let him spin around behind him easily.
Really doing a nice job of knees to the body there. Those are going to take an effect on him. But, it's dependent on him holding Castillo in this position.
Yep. And right now, Castillo is holding Matthew Hunt's weight.
And this, absolutely, and there Hunt just muscles him down, and he goes to take the back, like you said.
Yeah, that's a takedown. That might be
He's pretty high, and Castillo looks like he wants to roll. This is exactly what happened last time when Hunt almost had his back. Castillo switched it for 2 minutes and may have won that second round.
Now what Hunt has to do is stay active here. The last thing he wants to do is just go back to his feet.
And there's Castillo again, explodes and switches position. There's just under 3 minutes in this round.
That was the other thing he didn't want to do, is give up the reversal. Strikes were not heavy this round. So in wrestling, a takedown is worth 2 points. A reversal's worth 2 points. So if this is almost a tie event in a wrestling match, it would be a 2-point takedown, a 2-point reversal.
Well, we'll see if the damage that he's able to inflict here matches what Matt Hunt did. Coming up on 2 minutes left in this fight. It's 145-pound action. It's Matt Hunt right now holding on to Brian Castillo, who was on top of him.
Wow.
Excellent fight. Both first round and second round were very tight, as is this third round. I believe Matt Hunt, if he wants to win this round, he's going to have to get up.
He's trying an elevator right here, and Castillo has very good balance. And now he's getting almost into full mount. If he could secure full mount here, that might win him the fight.
Well, he's got a butterfly guard on the right side there, does Matt Hunt. So far, Castillo has not been able to.
Nice. He got back into side, or half guard.
Not landing a whole lot of punishment, but in the eyes of the judges, he is still on top.
Yep. And this is a fight for position for both men.
Coming up on just over a minute left in this third and final round. Brian Castillo right now working in the half guard of Matt Hunt.
You know, if I was a coach, both men, if I would not feel comfortable that I had it won. I think Hunt's got to get off the mat or maybe get a reversal. And if I was Castillo's coaches, I'd say you better win this by throwing punches for 1 more minute straight and dominating the top position. But I would be getting on both my athletes to do something and win the fight.
We've got a minute, and Brian Castillo's turning up the pressure, landing some elbows to Matt Hunt.
And he opened up a nice cut on Hunt's eye.
Yeah, Hunt is busted open now. And again, that's another factor that the judges sometimes play a role in, is the blood. Castillo's gonna finish strong here in this round. Does not look like Hunt's gonna be able to get up.
No, I don't think he is. And the cut, you know, aesthetics means a lot. When you see a fighter with a cut on their face, you think he got the worst of it.
But Hunt turns it around. He takes his back right before the end of the round.
And
look at him pouring it
throwing
on.
punches. Oh, and that was an up kick. That was
To a downed opponent. But
that was an illegal kick. And that happened in our fight a couple months ago at Rocktagon.
And here it is. We're going to wrap up this first round. The final 10 seconds. It's Matt Hunt on top of Castillo, trying to inflict some punishment and leave a final lasting impression in the eyes of the judges.
This will be good.
What a fight. Matt La Matanza Hunt and the Demon Brian Castillo. Hunt with his hands in the air.
Yep. This is important too. You got to act like you won the fight, because right now those scorecards aren't turned in.
Castillo with his hands in the air. What a fight. Nick Nutter, unofficially, who do you give that fight to?
I'm going to flip a coin right now, and it is Castillo. I really did flip a coin.
I know. Matt Hunt with his hands raised. Brian Castillo is jumping and celebrating in the center of the cage. This is not a decision. I do not envy the judges' position here. Both fighters confident, but I don't know if either of these men are truly confident that they did enough to get this decision.
I want to hear the crowd start saying, one more round, one more round.
Well, they gave us all the action we needed in those 15 minutes. That is the type of fight you come to expect when Rocktagon puts on a show.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, all these are evenly matched fights, and it's proved itself tonight.
Bushido MMA well represented. I talked to their coach Shane Schumann before the fight, and he was very aware of the gas tank of Matt Hunt and the wrestling credentials, and Castillo did what he wanted. For the most part, he prevented the takedown. We see the fighters in the cage with Kerry Hatley. We send it up to Jake Digman for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for both of these Rocktagon warriors. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Kerry Hatley scores this bout 30-27. Judge Raul Valencia scores this bout 29-28. And Judge Robert Velez scores this bout 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, Brian the Demon Castillo! El Paso, one more time. Put your hands together for both these fighters. What a fight!
I'm here with Brian, the Demon Castillo, and Brian, outstanding performance. Do you think the judges got it right?
Hell yeah!
What did you do you think that swayed the judges and gave you that decision?
Just my superior ground and pound from the guard.
Both you guys took some shots. Was there any moment in that fight when you were rocked?
Actually, that hook that kind of dropped me. But I kept my composure. I stayed cool, calm, and collected, and I just focused on the task at hand.
An outstanding performance. Those are the type of fights Rocktagon likes to deliver when we come to town. Before you go, anybody you want to thank? He wants to thank the guy holding him up, everybody. One more time, Ryan Castillo.